What's up, YouTube? Headshot87. Want to wish everybody a happy new year. I hope everybody has a safe and happy holiday. I hope Christmas was great for you. And just want to thank you guys for watching, and we look forward to 2016. And we're going to start or end the year off here with a comparison video between the Walther PPS and the regular M&P Shield. We're going to talk about a lot in this video. So hopefully, if you are looking at these two guns, you know, trying to make a buying decision, you can get some information from this video. Or maybe you have both. Maybe you have the one you like and you just want a little bit of entertainment. Either way, hopefully you guys will enjoy this video. We're going to show you what they come with out of the box. We're going to talk about pros and cons at the end. We're going to do a little bit of shooting and go over the features of each gun. So kick back, grab some popcorn, and hopefully you guys will enjoy this. Right out of the box, the Walther actually comes with a hard case. These are recently, a recent price drop on these has really made them a lot more attractive. Hard case, and a lot of people love the Walther PPS, even when they were over $500. By the way, just found out that there is a new Walther PPS coming. It is the PPS M2. It's going to have the grip style like the PPQ. The trigger looks very similar, so we look forward to that one coming out. Regular PPS, out of the box, you can see it comes with the nice foam padding, hard case. One thing that Walther does in general that I really like, maybe not in this one, actually I think it was in the PPQ, I'm sorry, but in the PPQ they actually sent a test target, and this one they did not. Either way, with the gun, you get two magazines. You're going to get a 7-round magazine, which is actually in the gun right there. Alright, and then you will get an extended 8-round magazine, which really gives you a full-size grip. They also come with 6-round magazines, and it was actually pretty hard to find that one available. Replaceable back strap there, which is kind of nice. So you do have an option for that. I actually have the larger one on there. There's the smaller one. And overall, just a lot of cool things out of the box. Like I said, the recent price drop brings these under $400. This one was a little bit over because of the flat dark earth color combination there. So we'll go ahead and put the box to the side on the PPS. M&P Shield is going to come a little bit more basic. Cardboard box. You do get paperwork, lock, all that crap. You get an 8-round magazine. You see it kind of has that stonewash finish. And the 7-round magazine, which is in the gun. So very similar what they come in. The boxes, of course, are a little bit different. So let's go ahead and talk about the features first of the PPS. A lot of unique features on the PPS, and this gun gives you options where the Shield does not. Starting at the front here, you can see it's kind of blocky, kind of like a Glock up here or an XD. You actually have one slot there for a light or a laser if you want to put that on there. Kind of rounded off trigger guard. You notice there's a little indentation here, so if you kind of do something like that, it would probably be pretty comfortable for you right there. Paddle magazine release. So this is naturally ambidextrous. You can notice right there, it's very tight to the trigger guard itself, but it makes getting that magazine out pretty convenient once you get used to it. Little bumps on the actual grip there. The back strap and front strap obviously is the most important thing, and they have these little directional horizontal or vertical lines going up and down, and the horizontals coming right across. It actually feels pretty good in the hand. Little bumps here on the front of the front strap there, and it's the same kind of setup. Slide stop right where you would expect it. And one thing about the PPS, right out of the box, these things are stiff little guns. As a matter of fact, both these guns are very stiff, but the PPS, after a couple hundred rounds, has really loosened up pretty nicely. Notice your sights there. I am actually a fan of this sight picture. They are steel sights. And I actually like the sight picture. The dots are big, they're easy to pick up, so really nice. Tenifer coated throughout, so really tough finish on it. Of course, you have your accessory rail, and one thing that is not on the PP or on the Shield, you have your removable back strap here. So this is the large one. Basically, you have a little button right there. Pop it off. This will also disable the firearm, which is kind of interesting, so you can't pull the trigger. So just something to keep in mind. And you actually have little dots right here on the back strap itself. You line them up with the little dots right there on the frame, and it kind of just tilts into place just like that. Push it up, and there you go. Slide serrations on the PPS on all the Walthers that I've handled anyways are cut really nice, really deep there, and make charging the gun really nice. You have a cocked indicator in the back here. So basically, when you pull the trigger, you'll notice from the side and from the back, and when you pull the trigger, it goes away. It's going to stay to the out position, and you notice it goes away. So if you're holstering, if you holster like this, you notice something's starting to poke you in the back, you know that something's inside that trigger guard. To the other side of the gun, obviously the magazine release is ambidextrous. There is no slide stop over here on this side. Takedown notches just like a Glock. And pretty much that's it on the little pistol. This pistol, even being for the size of gun it is, it does give you quite a few options. Obviously the flat dark earth color combination is one of those things. So really nice gun. $380 to $400. It is a pretty nice buy. All right, and you'll notice up here you have a loaded viewport, so you can see your brass in there. And I'll show you guys the trigger after the shooting part of the review. But notice how much is cut away from in the ejection port. So there's a lot of metal cut out of here. That's going to lead to really good ejection on the pistol. So there you go. There is your PPS Shield. Like I said, 7 and 8 round magazine. Starting out the front of the gun, it's beveled down here. So that is to help and aid with holstering. No slot for a rail. Pretty much rounded off here. It's kind of flat, so again, if you do something like this, it should be pretty comfortable for you. You have your slide stop in the spot where you would expect it. This model does come with or without a safety. That is your choice. The Walther does not. Takedown lever is right there. It's very flush to the frame. As you can see, all the controls, even your safety, are very close to the frame. And that's why, you know, even though I don't prefer the safety, Mrs. Headshot does, but I don't mind carrying the Performance Center Shield with the safety because it's so flush, it's so positive, and it takes a lot more effort to get that thing on than it does to just take it off. So one thing to think about. Magazine button is like in a regular American magazine button where you would expect it, and it's kind of raised there and it's angled back towards your finger, so even if you have smaller hands like I do, you can still get to it relatively easy without changing your grip. Pattern on the front and back strap, it looks like it would really be nice, but it's very slippery, very slick after you're shooting. I always talk about the Talon grips, even though I don't have them on any of these guns. It is something that I have used in the past. I really do like them. All right, but you know, it's something I definitely need to invest in. I'd always tell people, hey, get Talon grips for them, and I don't have them on my pistols myself. Something I definitely need to put on these guns. While you're at the range is when you really notice it. Extended use. These guns, even though they're single stack, low capacity guns, they're fun to shoot at the range. So you shoot 200 rounds, 300 rounds to this gun and not even know it. I mean, that's how good they are, and that's what I like about them. So coming around the pistol, nothing on this gun is ambidextrous. You cannot reverse the magazine button on this one. So lefties, that's just something you have to consider there. No interchangeable backstrap on this gun, so you do not have that option. What it comes with is what it's going to be. The sights are adjustable there, so you have a 3-dot setup. These the paint and these dots tends to fall out sometimes, so that's just something to keep in mind. I've redone this one a couple times, but the sight picture is pretty nice. The Walther definitely leaves more air for your front sight there than the Smith & Wesson. I don't know how much of that is lined up there, but the Smith & Wesson, it's pretty much no air in that front sight. So a little bit different on the sights. No cocked indicator on the M&P. You do have a loaded chamber indicator, so you can see your brass right down in there. Alright, so that is most of the features. You do have a stainless steel slide and barrel with the melanite finish. As far as I know, there's no kind of color combinations that you can get. I think they do have like a cryptic frame, so you know, it's something you can get. And they also have the brand new Performance Center option, or Performance Center shield that you can get. We recently reviewed that one. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about the specs of both. Both guns you can get in 9mm or 40 caliber. The PPS actually has a 3.2 inch barrel. The trigger pull is estimated at 6.1 pounds. Overall length is 6.3 inches. Height with the 6-round magazine is 4.4. With the 7-round is 4.9. It's right at an inch thick. So you can see there it is very thin. Inside the waistband, of course, is going to be very important. And it's 21.5 ounces unloaded, so it's definitely not the lightest gun on the table, but or not the lightest one in general. But it still is a decent weight for the size of gun. And your 40 caliber is actually going to be a little bit lighter at 21.1 ounces. The shield, again, 9mm or 40, whichever flavor you choose there. 3.1 inch barrel. 6.5 pound trigger pull is what Smith estimates it at. 6.1 inches in length, 4.6 inches high, 0.95 inches in width, so they're just about the same as far as width goes. Very thin guns, and 19 ounces unloaded weight. So both guns, they are very similar in size. Let me just show you compared to each other. You can see right here the Walther is just a little bit longer there, and let you get a good view of that. Just a little bit longer. That's not really going to have any impact on you inside the waistband, of course. Let me put them up right here. I believe the Walther is a little bit taller as well, so let's take a shot, show you that. Both of them 7-round magazines. So you can see your PPS is a little bit taller. With the 6-round magazine, they're going to be just about the same, but you will lose that round. I've carried both these guns, and this is not a huge difference. Once you start to get a little bit taller, though, like if you go with the 8-round magazines in both guns, let me show you this real quick. If you carry them like this, it's going to be noticeably taller. So there they are with the 8-round magazines. Again, the PPS comes out a little bit further, but carrying them like this, you're definitely going to notice a difference. So it's just something to consider. So as you can see, both guns, they have some unique features, especially the Walther. And remember, this is a German-made gun. I've, just from talking to people and listening to what they say about the PPS, there's some people that absolutely love this style with the ambidextrous magazine release in the trigger guard. Some people absolutely love this gun, but it doesn't seem like it's gained a lot of traction. It's one of the first single stacks out there on the market. Been out since 2007. And since then, up until recently, this thing has been expensive. But the people that have reviewed it and the people that have bought one seem to really love them. So reliability is there on the PPS. Price has come down. A new version is coming out with your standard magazine button, grip, and things we talked about. So if you want one of these, now is the time to buy them for sure. The shield, of course, these are going to come in right at the $300 to $350 range. These things are at an amazing price, and they have been for a while. Been out since 2012 and pretty much own the market. Now the Glock 43, of course, has taken a chunk of it this year, but just from you guys that have left your comments on the Glock 43 versus Shield and other videos that I've seen in the comments, it seems like most people are buying the Shield, and talking to some of the gun shops around here, the Shield is still the #1 seller in a lot of gun shops. So a lot of nice features on this gun as well. Before we get to the shooting, let me show you how they break down real quick. With the M&P, you lock the slide to the rear. There's a little yellow tab you can pull down in there without pulling the trigger, but I don't do that. Just rotate your lever down, make sure it's clear, pull the trigger, comes right off. The PPS, make sure it's clear, pull the trigger. You don't have to pull back on the slide, but I do. I find it a little bit easier. Pull back just a little bit, slide's going to come right off. On the PPS, you do have a polymer dual captive recoil spring. I contacted Walther before I even shot this gun because it seemed like the spring wanted, or the slide wanted to bind up. So I wasn't sure what that was about. They sent me one out without question, automatically, and come to find out it was just stiff, really stiff right out of the box. The Shield is going to have a dual captive stainless steel guide rod, so if that means anything to you, there's the difference between them right there. Of course, your PPS one, it's going to be a little bit longer. You have a little bit longer gun. So there's those two. Of course, you have the 3.1 inch barrel on the Shield and the 3.2 inch barrel with the PPS. So again, very similar overall. And then your slide construction, again, very similar. Fire and pin block is just in different places on each gun, but again, they are very similar. Inside the gun, you'll notice your points of contact on the PPS and on the Shield, stainless steel on both of them. So very nice constructions on the gun. And as far as I know, there for a while, Smith & Wesson was marketing or importing or selling some of the Walther guns. So I'm not sure if they're still doing that. If you know anything about that, of course, leave a comment down below just to let everybody know. But I know there for a while, Smith & Wesson was actually dealing with Walther in some capacity. Both guns, by the way, the Shield we've had for quite a long time, over 1,500 rounds through the Shield, and not many malfunctions. You know, maybe a handful, and that was pretty much, I'm pretty sure, ammo related. We shoot a lot of cheap ammo, guys, so you know, I have no problem blaming it on the ammo. By the way, you just see me kind of struggle with this recoil spring. Sometimes this thing doesn't want to go in. You just got to caress it into place. Putting the Shield back together. Get it on your rails. Lock it to the rear. Make sure everything's good. PPS. You just slide it right on there. Alright. So there you go. There's the basic features and specs of both guns. Let's get to some shooting, and we'll see you guys in a minute.
Well, some of the revolvers, you have to really struggle, and you can't get. You got it? All right. Well, thank you.
Shield. The freaking rifle. You like that one? That thing's nice. 4 in there. Watch out. Hot. Yeah, a little bit. That was like 10 shots. Enough of that. That's enough of that. I just want to shoot him one more time. Too much bite?
Too much.
Put it over it.
It's not a heavy sword. You can hold it.
Alright, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that. A lot of people like to point out the fact that we're not the best shooters, and a lot of these are in some of our previous videos, but just in this one. As you can see, the grouping is not amazing, but keep in mind, guys, that whatever you can do with these guns in your hands, whether it's better or worse, both guns, for what they are, serve a defensive role. And although we are getting better, and we know that, we still have a lot of work to do, but keep in mind that using these guns, if this is a person, that person is going to be stopped. These guns are meant to be defensive guns. If you can blow the bullseye or the center hole out of a target with one of these from 25 yards, you're amazing. That's awesome. We are not those type of shooters yet, but just keep in mind that these guns serve the purpose in what we are trying to do here. So you'll notice down here with the shield, not the best grouping. Definitely hit the target where I needed to most of the time. Over here, the PPS, I actually shot this gun better. You can see right there, 7 yards, not too bad. Your results may vary. Up here with Jenny with the shield, she definitely shoots the shield better. The PPS, not so much. So just keep that in mind. In your hands, the results will probably be different, but both guns, for what they are, defensive pistols, will definitely do the job. Other set of targets here. If you want to see individual shooting from each gun, we have videos on those as well. PPS down here did pretty well at 7 yards, and over here on the shield, again, pretty decent for what we did there. Jen up here with the PPS, again, right in this area with the shield, she did really good right in there. Just some random shooting. Again, we have that Colt 1911 9mm. We still got to do a review on that thing. That thing's pretty sweet. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the shooting part. You're going to see a little bit more incorporated into the video, but as you can see, both guns, for what they are pretty good shooters. I did not mention the slide serrations on the shield. You'll notice here they have those fish scale style serrations. They don't come up as far as the PPS, but they still are very nice. They give you a really good gripping surface to get a hold of. So pretty nice there. Let's go ahead and talk about pros and cons of each. Before we do that, I do want to show you guys the trigger. Trigger on the PPS is actually pretty nice. You have a little dingus on the trigger here. You hit a wall. Nice clean break. You have a little bit of play there before the actual break, but not bad. The reset is kind of weird. it kind of resets in stages almost. So not the biggest deal. Like I said, I'm not a huge proponent of, oh my god, the reset has to be amazing, especially on a small gun, but it does, it leaves a little bit to be desired. Again, break, not the lightest trigger, but that's not what you want. And there's your reset. Reset and break on that is a very positive click. You know when it's going to happen. On the Shield, you have a hinge style trigger, so if you pull from the top, no bang. Pull it from where it needs to be, you're going to hit the wall almost immediately. Nice crisp break, not super light. You don't want that on a defensive gun anyways. Your reset, that's not it. That's it. You kind of have a ghost reset. I've talked about that plenty of times on this gun. Again, there's your ghost reset. There's your real reset. The Performance Center Shield took care of a lot of that extra play in that. And you'll also notice at the bottom of the shield trigger and in the frame, you have an overstop notch right there. Alright, so pros and cons of each. Let's start with the PPS. This thing is a great little shooter. I have to say, especially when I actually put the bigger backstrap on it, I started shooting it better, to be honest with you. It just really is a great little shooter now. The price has dropped, and that's been one of the biggest deterrents for me for the PPS. But at under 400 bucks now for the black version, that is an amazing deal on this gun. It really shoots like a bigger gun, and you hear that a lot, but this gun really does. It also gives you options. You have the option to change the backstrap. You have the option to put a lighter laser on there. So those are good things, especially with a small pistol. The price drop is great. New PPS coming soon, man. I cannot wait to get my hands on that little guy. I cannot wait, I'm telling you. I think it's going to be awesome. Concealable in a good holster. I've been carrying this inside a hidden hybrid holster. Tolster does not have a holster for one of these. So I've been carrying it in a hidden hybrid, and the thing carries like a champ. I mean, it is a little bit heavier, and you do notice it a little bit over the Shield, but not much at all. Great track record. Reliability is great there, so I don't think you have anything to worry about as far as that. Really great gun. The magazine release, by the way, it is pretty close to the trigger guard, and as opposed to the H&K where they're kind of wide here, this one can be a little bit tough to get to at times. But if you train with it, if you like it, if this is what you're used to, even get into that thing, use your middle finger, whichever hand that you if you're left-handed, right-handed, this is going to give you the option. Again, it's ambidextrous for the magazine release. So just something to think about on that one. Pros on the Shield. As far as me and my opinion, this is the best $350 you can spend on a gun in this category. The M&P, it has been reliable for us. It's been reliable for a lot of people. It is still king to me in concealed carry pistols, single stack 9s. There are two models available now. You have the regular Shield, you have the non-safety model Shield, and then you have the Performance Center. So I actually have 3 models available for the Shield. Great little shooter. I've always had a little bit of trouble trying to get really tight groups out of it. But as you start to shoot it and get comfortable with it, you can do really great with this thing. There is a learning curve, in my opinion, with the Shield. You got to get used to the trigger and the way it handles, but once you get it down, this gun is not only a gun that can save your life, but actually fun to shoot. Very concealable. We use one of these in the Tolster holster. Here's the Performance Center Shield in the Tolster holster. It is so comfortable in one of these things. I love it. Aftermarket support is definitely gonna win on the Shield. You have sights, trigger kits available, all kinds of things for the Shield, holsters. So you have a lot of options with this gun over the PPS as well. You can get it with or without a safety if that's what you like. Just an overall amazing little gun. Now let's talk about the cons. First off, this relates to both guns. Pulling the slide back, if you have any kind of weakness in your hand, right out of the bat, right out of the box, they are stiff little guns. The M&P likes to catch right about here, and you actually have to force it, not force it, but you gotta give a little bit extra effort to get that thing loaded up. It's a stiff little gun. This has had a lot of rounds through it. It's definitely lightened up quite a bit. Just keep in mind, both guns, the PPS was very stiff right out of the box, and it's loosened up quite a bit. Both guns, they're not the easiest to rack and all this, but they will loosen up over time, but they're stiff out of the box. Let's talk about the cons on the PPS. First, the magazine release, some people love them, some people hate them. It's just one of those things. I'm kind of torn with it. I like the H&K style paddle release. On this one, I'm not as huge of a fan as I am on the H&K. It's just very close to the frame there, or the trigger guard, and I'm not the biggest fan of it. It does work, obviously, but I'm not a huge fan of it on this particular gun. Also, the trigger on the little PPS, although it is not bad, it is kind of sharp. Whenever you're shooting it, after 100 rounds or so, you really start to notice it on your finger. Not a huge deal. You know, somebody's going to jump in here and say, oh my God, I can't believe you can't shoot that thing. Not a huge deal, but to some people it may bother them. And just a stiff gun. That's it. It loosens up. It will get better after a couple hundred rounds, trust me. Great gun overall. Cons on the Shield. Also, a stiff little gun. The grip texture after you've shot and shot and shot and shot and shot, you definitely notice that on the Shield. It is very slippery. These bumps provide very little texture for you. So it's just one of those things. The PPS definitely has the better texture there on the back strap and front strap, so I give the nod to that one on that. And the little quirks. You have the last round syndrome in the Shield. So when you load up a full magazine, a lot of the times what you'll get is a magazine that's sticking out like that. You really got to pop that sucker in there. You have a little gap down here where you can actually see the magazine. Little quirks like that. The Shield, like I've always said, is the best unrefined little pistol out there. And it still is to me, you know, but it has little quirks about it. May or may not bug you. It also doesn't give you as many options as the PPS. What you have on your back strap is what you're going to get. It may be a little too thin for some hands. If your hands are really big, that may bother you. Otherwise, for a single stack 9, it gives you a really good feel in the hand, you know, depending on your hand size. Other than that, that's pretty much it. The gun has been super reliable, and cannot say enough good things about the Shield. All right, so you have watched us ramble, you've watched us shoot these guns. So to sum it all up, both guns have very positive reliability. They have a very good track record, so that's not something I would worry about at all with either gun. Both of them shoot like they are bigger guns, and that's one of the fun things about them. They're easy to carry, easy to conceal, but you can take them to the range and have a good time with them. So that's something that I like, you know, because most of us, we're not going to have to use these in a defensive role. We of course want them if we do, but most of the time you're going to be at the range, putting rounds down range. If you have a gun you don't want to shoot or hurts to shoot or whatever, then, you know, what's the point? Both of these guns give you a fun gun to shoot as well. The M&P is of course going to give you the option with or without the safety if that's important to you. So just something to keep in mind. The safety, even though I don't necessarily prefer it, Mrs. Headshot likes it, it's never just inadvertently come on. So that's something to keep in mind. I think the PPS for me is an overall better shooter right out of the box. I just think it is. Mrs. Headshot would definitely disagree with that. She likes the Shield. That's what she's going to stick with. I think right out of the box, the PPS, though, is a little bit easier to get accustomed to and start shooting well. This one takes a little bit more practice. Both guns provide a comfortable shooting weapon that you really don't need much out of the box with. You know, if you want to throw night sights on there or something like that, both of them give you the option. This one's going to be a little bit harder to find accessories. So which one do I prefer? The one I carry, Performance Center Shield. I absolutely love the Shield. There's just something about it that I just keep coming back to. It's like kind of like people with Glocks, you know, and you know, people get very militant over, oh my God, my gun is so much better than yours, blah blah blah. I don't care, man. I just want a gun that shoots well. But the Shield is just something I'm comfortable with. Obviously, we're not blowing the bullseye out of these targets whatsoever, but if I need to use a gun, I feel very confident that I will be able to pull this up and use it effectively, and that's what these guns are all about. When you get into bigger guns, obviously, you want to be able to blow the bullseye out of a target. These guns, you want to be able to effectively get rounds on target. That's what they're about. And this is the gun I prefer to carry. It's a little bit more comfortable to carry. If you have a smaller frame, you're probably going to want to go with the Shield. It's a little bit easier to conceal. And once you get your practice in with these guns, with the Shield, you can be very effective with them. A little bit more comfortable to carry. I like it better, but I am not ashamed of switching up and carrying another gun. That is not me. But this PPS, this version, I think it's amazing. I think it's an excellent gun. I just like the Shield. I also like the magazine release better, and that's one thing I keep finding myself hitting this thing, and every once in a while it doesn't want to drop, or I don't get it right, and I don't like that. It's not what I'm not against it. I like it on the H&K, but on this gun, there's just it's kind of quirky to me. I don't know why. I think it's just too close to the trigger guard itself. I think it needs to come out a little bit further. Again, if you have one and you love it, this is an awesome gun, and I would definitely praise you. But if you have a Shield, I think this is the better choice overall. They still are cheaper. You're going to have a $30 to $80 difference still between the guns, and I think this is the better option overall for me. Let me know what you guys think down below. I really want to know what you guys are looking forward to 2016 and the guns you look forward to coming out. If you like what you see here, make sure to subscribe down below. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Happy New Year, and as always, hold them down.